God's peace be with you all. The Apostle Paul tells us in 1 Timothy 6 verse 8, if we have food and clothing, we shall be content with that. What are we to make out of that? Is that not going overboard on having a simple lifestyle? The poor, of course, would be happy to have food and clothing, even if only that, given their dire situation in life. But can any person really be expected to be content with just having food and clothing? How about the also basic needs of shelter, a decent job, medical provisions, basic education, insurance, social security, and even a little money for recreation? Then for those who do have the basics, is it unreasonable to aspire for a little more, to have more of the things that make life more pleasant? We need to look at Paul's words in context. First, given the natural disposition of people to look to economic well-being and have more and more, Paul puts everything in proper perspective. For we brought nothing into the world, just as we shall not be able to take anything out of it, he says in 1 Timothy 6 verse 7. Job put it this way, naked I came forth from my mother's womb, and naked shall I go back there. Job 1 verse 21. Often people accumulate things without a thought that they can never take anything with them when they die. So Paul is pointing people to what they should not consider as of utmost value in life. Second, there is actually great danger when one loses this perspective. People may start off just desiring a little bit more of material goods in life, but can easily end up greedily desiring more and more. Money and possessions have power to dominate our lives. Thus, Paul issues the warning in 1 Timothy 6 verse 9, those who want to be rich are falling into temptation and into a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires, which plunge them into ruin and destruction. Such powerful words. But indeed, Satan uses money and possessions to lure people away from God and into a worldly life. He even tried that with Jesus when he tempted him in the desert. Satan showed Jesus all the kingdoms of the world and offered these to him if only he would worship him. Jesus has said, no one can serve two masters. It is either God or Mammon. And just as we are called to love God, Mammon also demands to be loved. It consumes, it overwhelms, it controls. Thus Paul makes his warning direct. For the love of money is the root of all evils, and some people in their desire for it have strayed from the faith and have pierced themselves with many pains. If money is the root of all evils, then no wonder the devil stirs up materialism, consumerism, and hedonism. If the desire for money has caused people to stray from the faith, then it is important that from the very start, we be content with the most basic of needs, represented by food and clothing. Now, can we ever aspire to a better life? We of course can, as we indeed are children of the King. We are a people of covenant, by which prosperity is a promise. But God needs to be sure that we are ready when the good things come, that we will not be corrupted, that our priorities will not change. When God knows we can handle money or even wealth, then these can come. How can God be assured? It is when we have firmly taken on the proper posture. It is when we have God first and foremost in our lives. It is when we fully trust in Him and His wonderful plan for our lives, rather than on our being able to provide for ourselves. It is when we are content with what He provides. And so the writer of the letter to the Hebrews lays down the principle. In Hebrews 13 verse 5, let your life be free from love of money, but be content with what you have. For He has said, I will never forsake you or abandon you. with God Himself providing for us, we indeed should be content. God bless you.